PPF Joint Secretary, Mr. Kiran, PPF Executive Member, Naveen, and PPF Treasurer, Srijit. So our guest speaker for the evening, Mr. Akhil Antony, is an AI consultant. We have a detailed introduction for him later on. He will take us through how AI is changing professional work, how we can use it more effectively, and how these tools can improve productivity and decision making. We will begin with a brief presidential address, followed by the speaker introduction, the main sessions, a live demo, very important, and then an open Q&A session towards the end. I urge all the participants to please post your questions in the chat box or in the Q&A window. We will take them up during the Q&A session. With that, let me once again welcome you, and I now invite our President, Mr. Anil Kumar, to deliver the presidential address. Over to you, Anil.
Thank you, Prasad. Am I audible?
Yes, please continue.
Thank you. Good evening to all professionals. Welcome to another milestone initiative by the Progressive Professional Forum, PPF Kuwait. Since 2014, PPF Kuwait has stood as a secular collective, uniting the expertise and social consciousness of engineers, medical practitioners, legal minds, financial and management experts. Our mission has always been clear: to channel our professional knowledge and collective thinking towards inclusive societal development. Whether demonstrating our environmental commitment through beach cleanups or sharpening our technical edge through our upskill reskill series like our recent Elevate Excel workshop, PPF remains dedicated to continuous growth. Tonight, we take a defining step forward as we address a force reshaping the global landscape: artificial intelligence. AI has no longer a futuristic concept or a niche tool for tech enthusiasts. It represents a fundamental shift in how we work, solve problems, and build for the future across every industry represented in this room. As professionals, our relationship with AI cannot be defined by passive observation or uncritical adoption. Instead, our responsibility is to lead its integration with a strategy, foresight, and a deep understanding of its dual nature, balancing its immense capabilities with rigorous ethical and professional standards. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our organization team and our expert speaker for bringing this vital conversation to life. To our participant, I encourage you to engage deeply, challenge assumptions, and collaborate. Let us ensure that as technology advances, our professional capabilities and values advance right alongside it. Thank you, and I wish you all an incredibly productive and insightful webinar. Thank you. Over to moderator, Prashant.
Thank you, President, for the wonderful address. Now, may I now invite Kiran, our Joint Secretary, to introduce the speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Progressive Professional Forum Kuwait, I warmly welcome you all to today's webinar on AI for Professionals. My name is Kiran Babu, and I am serving as the Joint Secretary of the Forum. It is my privilege to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Akhil Antony. Akhil is an Agile Coach, AI Program Management Consultant, and Enterprise Transformation Leader, currently based in Toronto, Canada. He brings extensive experience from fintech and global organizations. He is known for building high-performing teams, enhancing delivery maturity, and leveraging AI to drive efficiency, collaboration, and measurable business outcomes. In addition, he is an active mentor and a strong advocate for practical AI adoption and sustainable organizational change. On a personal note, Akhil was my classmate in India and remains a close friend, making it especially meaningful for me to introduce him today. With that, I invite you all to join me in welcoming Mr. Akhil Antony. Over to you.
Thank you, Kiran. Akhil, now the forum is all yours. We await to hear about AI and its practical applications. Over to you, Akhil.
Yes, thank you for the warm welcome and this wonderful opportunity provided by PPF. I'm a bit humbled by the introduction provided by my peer classmate and one of my all-time friend. And I just cherish the memories after seeing him for a long time. So I want to start my presentation. But before I start my presentation, I wanted to sincerely again thank you, the PPF. But I would like the session to be more um, engaging and interacting. So what I'm going to do now is that Prashant sir did mention about that we will be doing a demo at the end of the session. I'm slightly tweaking that to make it more practical rather than going into a lot of PPT and explaining about AI. I understand that based on the survey, we have a group of people who are very new to AI and some of them are far advanced. So to cater to both of them, I will be taking you through the basics as well and a little bit of more advanced and productive ways of how to use AI so that it becomes very practical in work in your personal life as well. So let me take share of my screen. Let me know if you guys are able to see it. Okay. Let me know if this screen size
Perfect.
is practical. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are now seeing your some kind of a website.
Yes. I'll come to my introduction later, but I wanted to start with a very interesting demo. Now, is the screen completely visible for all of you?
Yes, we can see your cloud screen.
Exactly. So, with the survey that we saw, I know that everybody or most of everybody in Kuwait is very familiar with ChatGPT. So today I'm going to introduce something pretty cool, and it's something that I use every day nowadays, as well as I've been a big fan of what they are capable of doing. Now, me and my son catch up on weekends and discuss about what can I do and how can I teach him stuff. So I just want to show you something that is very exciting that my son found, and I'm going to demonstrate that with a practical way of how that happens. So I know that most of people here. I want you to respond in the chat, okay? If you, I'm not able to see the navigation. Yes. I want you to put your response in the chat, and then I will take it from there. So all the participants, if you have played video games, just say yes or say why in the chat window. Video games. How many of you as a child have played video games? I would like to see the chat because then that will motivate me. Oh, okay. There are some quick responses, quite a lot of responses. Yes. Hands are coming up. Yes. How many of you? Okay, that's great. That's great. Go. I think we have about 100 participants, right? Probably more.
That's right. You can continue.
Okay, I don't
We,
keep
ca- we
saying
don't we don't
100
have to
yes
wait
or
for
no.
everyone.
It's not applicable, I know, but I'm majority of you. But if I ask the question, how many of you can create a video game? How many of you can say yes or no in this group of 100 people? Okay. So majority of the people are saying no. Why? My question is, why do you say no? Maybe some of the panelists can also participate because I know this is interactive. But if you want to give any comment, I'm welcoming the panelist as well. Do you think having tried it, we do not know, not tried making one, never tried something like that? Yeah, I don't know the language. Yes. Okay. Sorry. If you're talking about English, I would like to be inclusive. I will be only speaking in English for today. Never tried. So most of the people have never tried today or are not able to even think of building a game because it's not an easy thing to do. Because as a normal person, you enjoy the entertainment, you enjoy the games, you enjoy the videos, but the effort it takes is immense to do these things. Now, in front of you, this is not a recorded session, okay? So though it's morning for me in Toronto, I'm well and active. This is not a recording. I just wanted to make sure that. And I'm going to create a game for you live. Okay. So let's do something very simple first. and then I will show you what me and my son created yesterday night. So I'm going to start. This is called Claude. Claude is similar to ChatGPT. It's an AI tool. I will explain the basics of this, but I just want to start with this. So I'm going to do something called prompt. Basically, I'm typing create a tic-tac-toe game for me. I'm just typing very, very small sentence. It's called create, sorry, create a tic-tac-toe game for me. That's all I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm using the latest model, and this is only available to the max plan. So maybe I'll step down a bit and reduce the intelligence level of this machine. And I'm going to create this because I don't want to exhaust the tokens on generating something very simple for artificial intelligence. So now I'm going to click on this and just give few minutes and see what's going to happen. So the only thing is that AI does something called as thinking process, and it has to pull this information, understand what I have asked for, and what it is doing is it's reading the front-end design skill that this AI is having to generate a game user interface. And now it's crafting a characterful tic-tac-toe game, and it's telling me I will build you a polished playable version, clean design, a computer opponent with difficulty levels, and score tracking. So let's see what it's going to do now. So just want to give a disclaimer. Some of these are very live practical sessions, so maybe not very successful in the first attempt. If that is not the case, I will show you what I've already created. So it's currently now generating. So allow him some time, and I think it's going with something very, very high quality, maybe. That's why it's taking so much time. Okay. So what you see now on my screen, I'm just moving my chat window. What you see here is a live game created in front of you in minutes. Let's see if it's functional. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I think it's a draw. So, so what you just saw now is something I could even imagine building if somebody asked me this question. And I did present this to one of my events, and there was a game developer in that session. And he told me, Akhil, to build something like this, it took me 5 years because initially he had to do his learnings, become an engineer, and then with all the learnings, he had to build this and learn this and then make sure that it is available. Now, all I need to do is share this, copy this, and share it as a file, and I can share it to anybody in this, and they can play this game right away. And it has already even created a computer version of it where I can play against the computer. Isn't that amazing? If you think that's amazing, let me show you something way different. This is what me and my son created yesterday. I just want to adjust the panel. Sorry. Is my screen still visible?
Yes, now we can see your cloud screen.
Yes. So yesterday with This game was created by just the simple prompt. And this is what I call as single shot prompting. That means you're just telling AI to do something. And even with that, it created something incredibly good because the model I selected had extremely high intelligence level. And now what we did just to prepare for the session is this. So this is what my son wanted. He wanted to play a Mario game, and we just went into engineering what we needed, and then we prompted it. And right now, this game was created by my 9-year-old son. And I can't play this. I have to call him to play this. Okay. So all I wanted to share was that it is incredibly powerful, and a 9-year-old can build something that a 5-year-old an engineer who has spent multiple years cannot. So that doesn't mean that, we are obsolete. This means that there is an incredible opportunity for each and every one of us. Even though you do not have the skill at the moment, AI is something that can help you amplify. So now I'm going to share my screen and then take you through the formal presentation. Let me know when you're seeing my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same Claude screen as of now.
Yeah. So right now I want to introduce myself. My name is Akhil Antony. I am an AI consultant and an agile coach. And this is my website. You can find information about what I do, what services I provide. I provide coaching and consulting services, digital transformation services. I do sessions on AI like this, and I also help with professional training. So my services are available here. We've been working with multiple clients on digital solutions, coaching services, transforming AI and agile principles for future, and also AI strategy consulting. So this is what I do as my other job. And right now I'm working for HC24 Incorporated for pivoting them into AI. That's my full-time job, and that's what I'm fully busy with at the moment. So this is all about me. I'll be sharing my details, and you guys can connect with me, and I'll be very happy to discuss if you have anything regarding AI and these services that you are looking for. Now, let me go into the formal presentation. You should be now seeing the screen, and this is where I'm going to take you through a little bit of boring stuff about what is all about AI, and then something that you really need to learn, which is called prompting, and then how to use it safely, and then how can you apply on your work. So before I go there, why is AI now an important thing for all of us? Because right now, AI is a core skill that is needed because this is part of the World Economic Forum survey, and the survey states that around 78 million net new jobs are expected globally by 2030. That means AI is completely reshaping how the jobs will be in the future, and that's a huge opportunity for every one of us. That when I say it's a net job, new jobs, that means there will be a lot of jobs that will no longer may be relevant, but that doesn't mean that new jobs will not come. But the net opportunity that is going to be available for all of us is immense. And anybody who knows AI is expected to get a 56% improvement in the wage increase. And the survey also clearly indicate that we will need to retain or upskill upward 59% of people to keep up and keep pace by 2030. That is a 20x growth in the AI skill versus the overall job market. So this doesn't mean that you are being replaced by AI. It's very much clear here that it is people who are going to adapt is going to be definitely the one who's going to take advantage of it. And that's what the survey that was shared by the Stanford High and AI Index. as part of the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report in 2025. Now, I want you to take a few moments, 90 seconds, and take a sheet of paper. And if you are joining this call using a mobile device, I highly suggest you move your session into a computer, because this session is going to be very practical and I want you to be engaged in this, and that's very important. If you are not, please do that. And I want you to now take a piece of paper and write one task you repeat every week, or one communication that takes too long, or a career or business goal where AI could help you, or a concern you have about using AI. So I would give you a few minutes, and then please take this down, because this will help you by end of the session. I will help you with completing those, and if you can share that, that will be amazing, that it helps, and that will be a great thing for me that you have achieved. So I'll give you just 1 minute. I hope you guys are still there.
Yes, very much. If the wordings are smaller, you let me know, I can make it bigger. Okay. I hope you got an opportunity to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to start with a basic foundations, and this is what I'll be sharing. So what is AI or generative AI? What do you think it is? Can somebody put their chat about what it is? Is artificial intelligence fake intelligence? Okay, I know that this is a big long thing to type. So probably I will uh, probably I will make the question shorter. Oh, Gen AI is getting AI to do tasks in conversational language. That's amazing. A thinking partner. That's great. Not 100% correct. We can debate. Okay. So in simple words, we can treat AI like someone who is trained on an enormous set of data and can mimic intelligence like human intent. So it's based on a lot of sets of data, and it basically it is a kind of a thinking partner if you use it right. It is a prediction engine, and the funny thing about AI is it can give you wrong answers very, very confidently. So you need to be very, very clear about what AI is telling to you, and it is an extremely well-read intern that can do things, and earlier it can only chat with you. Now you see it can do things, and always make sure you review the work of what this guy gives you. Now, since I talk about artificial intelligence, and if I do not show ChatGPT, that would not be good. But I will first give you a little bit of
history about artificial intelligence, and then maybe from there I can take you through the practical side of the sessions. So, okay. So now we all started hearing about artificial intelligence when ChatGPT was launched. That happened in 2022. That's when the big moment happened. But artificial intelligence existed long before uh, we even thought about it. So the word artificial intelligence was coined in the year 1956 during a Danforth workshop. But after that, what happened was that there were a lot of discussion about how this can be really used for humans, and there were no funding that happened. All those because the computers those days were not capable of running intelligence in them, or the chipsets that they had used to have like big sizes that they need to be used, and it was very difficult for artificial intelligence to run on the compute that they were available at that point of time. But in 1997, IBM beats Gary Kasparov. That was the moment when everybody realized that computers can now beat humans. And what after from there was immense acceleration of AI. And right now I can question, and I want to ask this question. Is there anybody in this chat think can beat an AI? I would like to say, let me know if you can in the chat. And if you say that you can, I really wanted to have a one-to-one conversation and challenge you for that to see if you can beat an AI in chess. And I can tell you now, there is no human that can compete against AI in chess, because Deep Blue is so good that it is no longer gonna help you. I mean, no longer you can beat it. And if there is anybody in the chat who can do that, please message it, and I will connect with you, and then we will have a round with AI and see who wins. And in 2011, that the another big moment in AI is when the Siri was introduced by Apple, and then during that time, it was a big hit. But there was another big competitor, IBM Watson. It was more capable. But then everything changed when ChatGPT was launched in 2022. Millions of people started using it, and it started behaving like like how humans behave, and attracting millions of people. And another big moment in the milestone of AI is when DeepSeek and the new model started gaining attention. This is when it was realized that till 2022, AI was only something that can be created by big multinational corporations. The reason for that is that because it could only be like it needed immense compute and very expensive to train these models. But everything changed when DeepSeek was launched in 2025, because then we realized that it can be made smaller but more efficient. And that's when things started changing. And by 2026 was the era of AI agents. I will show you some samples of that. Now, I want to quickly take you through something very practical. I just want to show you an example, and I do not want you to take you through the theory of this. I wanted to show you like how an AI works. Okay, so I believe you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so right now I'm going to open something called Tokenizer. Tokenizer is nothing but like when you speak to AI, you give input to AI. So usually we give input to AI like text. So let me open ChatGPT and show you this. A cat is on the, I'm saying dash. What do you think is the answer for this? Okay, we will check the answer for this, but I can say the cat, ChatGPT will say it's
On the wall.
on the wall. Okay.
mat, table, could be, there are multiple answers coming in.
Multiple answers that you can come. So when you give some input like this, what it is actually doing is it is converting that into something called tokens. Okay. And I do not want to go into technical side of things, but when you give an input, it says that it has like is one, there are 18 characters in here and there are 6 tokens. I do not know if you can see more clearly. Let me make it clear. Yeah. So when I say the cat is on it is taken 6 tokens. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. I will explain to you because this is very, very important when you are working on AI related projects, because all the cost associated with this is coming from the use of tokens. It's like money in the real world. For AI, it's called tokens. That's the most simplest explanation I can give. Now, when I go and type something in ChatGPT, what happens is that it says that the cat is on the roof, cat is on the mat, cat is on the fence, whatever it is. Okay. So what it is doing is it's basically predicting what an answer could be. But if I say, and it is predicting based on most probable output of what people used to give to ChatGPT. So what it happens is, if you want to see how this functions, you can see something called as embedding. So when you click here, this is how, and I can very basically say this is the brain of AI. Okay. So what's happening here is when you give something like that, it is basically relating itself with what you are asking. So for example, if I say apple, I think I should zoom the size. Okay. When I say apple, sorry, the size is. So when I say apple, it's basically, I need to refresh it. If I say apple, like in our brain, it picks things. In AI, also it's picking apple. And now it's going to start associating that with the next word. So I basically wanted to show you this is the brain of the computer or brain of AI and how it functions. So it's basically a lot of information. This is just text. This is just an example of text that I'm sharing here. But I just want you to understand that this is how it functioned in the back of it. Okay. Let me go back to the presentation. Now you just saw what AI is doing and how AI is functioning. I just want you to take you through something very, very important. Now we know that AI is something that can give you a lot of information, but when you are using AI for your professional settings, it is very important for you to make sure that you follow some guidelines or guardrails to ensure that what you're doing is according to the benefit of everyone and it is not impacting anybody badly. And this is a very good practice that you should be all following. And I've done a course on AI with Google, and this is a good framework that they recommend. And that's the reason I'm sharing it here. And what they say is that it is important to follow this whenever you do anything with AI. Give clear instruction and the right context, and treat AI as a capable assistant you are briefing and not a mind reader. Because if you tell something to AI, AI is basically gonna give you an answer. But if you give a very clear instructions, it's gonna give you a better outcome. Now, the next thing that I wanted to share is check the output, because AI can be very confidently wrong. So once I was creating and writing a paper, it was a research paper, and when I was working on that, I had pulled some information and then I was doing some research. And I gave the AI to give me the summary of it. The AI very confidently created a very professional research paper and it shared it with me. It was at that point, I would say, ChatGPT. Yes. And what happened is that it gave me, so I was writing a paper on how to use AI for Agile. Agile is a way of project management. And the AI gave me the research paper and I consolidated everything. And then I found like some of those information was not correct. So I asked ChatGPT, where did you get this information from? Okay, because I had to verify whether this information was right, and I asked ChatGPT. So usually research paper have a very good backing, and I asked it to pull a reference. It pulled a reference link and gave it to me. So that should be enough. But then when I clicked on the link, that link was not even accessible. So I asked ChatGPT that why did you give this? Then it confidently said, "Oh, I made a mistake." So then I had to very much consider whether I have done the right research or not. Then I had to redo the entire thing. So it's very much important to ask AI what it has created and ask to review if the information you have created is right or not. By the end of the session, I can share a prompt that you can use and confidently understand whether that information that you have shared is correct or not using AI. And when you use AI, please be transparent. Let people know that you have used AI. So right now, this presentation, I have used a portion of that using AI, but I've done all my research myself. And it is important to be transparent to the people that you are using AI. Because by now, if I get an email, I can very much tell you that this is created by AI, because humans can judge that this is created by AI. And it's very important for organizations to be very clear on the use and accountability of how AI is being used. Because if you use information and that is not compliant with your organization policy, especially Kuwait have a lot of regulations, and it is important for you to make sure that it is complied according to the regulations. So if you're using AI, it's a good practice that you tell and make sure that other people is well aware. So what are the things now that you're using AI? There are certain things that you should give and that you should not give. You should not provide enterprise information to AI. Share credentials, passwords, contracts. Assume a free assume that whatever you get for free is private, and make any final decision that it is unchecked. These are very basics. I know that you are already aware, but always use this for the best practices. And it is a good thing that you keep a note of this. And it's important that you keep track of what you are using AI and never use anything sensitive using AI. And always check with your organization's AI and data handling policy and use AI for phrasing and analysis of non-sensitive materials. Now, I know that this is a little lengthy, but I wanted to give you an idea of how better you can talk to AI. Now, when you talk to AI, there are multiple ways in which you can talk to AI, and the way you talk to AI is called prompting. And this is called this is a way that Google recommend to follow. The reason why I bought this method of prompting is to make sure that when you use this across any platforms, it works. And this is a model agnostic prompt, which meaning if you use this in ChatGPT or in Gemini or Claude or Copilot, it will still give you a very good result. So what you can do is whenever you give ChatGPT a prompt, you always start exactly what you want and give it a role. Okay. So when you are prompting AI, just say, give me this report or summarize this for me. That is very basic for AI, and AI may not be able to give a very meaningful response. But if you put this method of approach, it becomes very, very easy for AI to give a good output. So let's say if you act as a financial analyst and give me a report on an Excel file, it will give you something, but it will not give you a very detailed one. So always add a background to your prompt and then give a reference, give an example or data that matches that sample. And then after you give it, read the output critically. It is inaccurate or in the complete tone, that is to say that giving that information, and then iterate. That means refine and ask the question again and again so that it gives you better outcome. So if you use TCR, you will already get a good outcome. But if you just use the next two, it will give you a very good and better result. And the mnemonium for that is thoughtfully create a really excellent input. Okay. Now that's a lot of theory. And this is an example of how a weak prompt will look like. Let's do this. Okay. So the prompt is very much here. Write an email about a project delay. Let's assume you are doing a project and you are asking ChatGPT. I'm just opening this chat and asking chat. Okay, this will not work. Okay, let me open this. Okay, and now I'm gonna ask ChatGPT about a project delay. So it's just building something without even having any context of what it is doing, right? It's just providing an update due to unexpected challenges, and it has become more intelligent. It has now even given you a more better and detailed outcome. Now, sorry. Okay, so if you give the prompt like this, it is going to give you a much better outcome here. So let's use the same chat, and now this has given a good letter. I don't say that because I have used a very good intelligent model here. Now, if I use this prompt, act as this, write project lead, write a 120 email, 1 week delay, and I'm giving the context and say calm, accountable tone, and give the cause, the new date, and how I will prevent it. Now this has given a result. I will write, and it's given me a good template. It's not bad, but let's see what it does with this. So what I'm doing is when I'm prompting, I am giving that. Okay. Please paste. Okay, so now it is asking me what causes the delay. So it is not just giving me some basic prompt, it is asking me what caused the delay. So I'm saying that delay was caused because of resource issue. I should have also given the revised delivery date and prevention measures. Okay. Now, here it was a very generic response. Now it is giving me, I'm writing to update a project timeline due to an unexpected resource availability issue. The reason is here, and it is more clear and crisp. And it's going to be very clear with the stakeholders who is going to receive, and they will make sure that no, this information is received well and more clear for them. It's more structured. Now, I want to introduce you now. Thinking about this is a bit of a challenge because it's a mnemonium and you have to follow all of this. Now you will be thinking, Akhil, I have to remember a lot of prompt and all of that. And what do I can do? So right now, whatever you are doing is you go to ChatGPT and then you copy whatever ChatGPT gives you, and then you come to your screen and then you paste every information, right? What if I give you a tool that can technically help you without even using any screen? How will that be? Like, you want to do the prompting and you want to reply to things. What you generally do is you go to ChatGPT, copy paste the information, and once the information is available there, you come back and then paste it into your necessary documents, and that's when you create these kind of things, right? So now
Right.
what I'm going to do is, I know that we now know there is a way that you can do the prompting, but if you have to do these kind of things, there is another way in which you can do this. Would you guys be interested to see and hear about how to do that? Like,
Absolutely.
going into ChatGPT and do this and all of that. So that's what I'm going to share now. So what you have to do is, there is something called as a Chrome extension that you can install. It is
Akhil,
a
one second.
yeah.
There was some comments. Can we increase the size of the screen?
Yes. Is this okay?
Yes, I think probably people who are looking at from the tab or the phone would be facing an issue on the smaller screen size.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I've increased the size. I hope this is okay with all of you.
yeah, this was better.
Okay. So what we are going to do here is, I'm going to install some extension. And to do that, it's a bit of a thing that you have to do. You have to click here and you can see there is an extension here. And under extension, you have something called Visit Web Chrome Store. Click there. And once you click there, it will open a store. And I will install something called AI Blaze. It's called AI Blaze, use instantly in any web extensions. So this is the one that you should be installing. There are a lot of such extensions available now. Even Claude has come up with this, but I am very using this for a long time, and it's really capable. And I will show you how this is going to make your life really easy. So once you install this into the extension, it becomes part of your Chrome or whatever browser you are using. And how you need to do is, since I have already installed, it will ask you some instructions on installing this. Once you install this, you will see that it's coming up somewhere here. And this is called the Blaze screen. So what it has is, it has multiple models. It has GPT, it has Claude, some of those models that are available here. And this is going to be a game changer for you, because what it can do is, let's say you are into any website. Let's go now into a particular website and see what information is there in the website. Can you suggest a website that you guys, something that we can use in the public, okay? A website that you want to go and read about.
PPF is a good site.
PPF, okay.
Or alternately, I think let's look at something informative for the whole audience.
Let's go to
Something to do with the was anything on the managerial segment. There are quite a number of people who are working with, who are there with about 10 to 12, 10 to 15 years of experience. That's the largest segment of people who are in the audience today.
Yeah, just give me some suggestions about a website that we can go and read more about. I would like to be very professional here.
A suggestion came about IAM or something. IAM. any skill development course in IIM?
Okay. I'm going to IIM. Okay, so by now, what I was looking for is like you wanted to read about something and then you
Yes,
find.
I think this is the best one, Project Management Institute. That's one of the most relevant things for all the people.
Okay, this is a good website. Yes, I can say this. Okay, so now let's say if you want to understand more about this, there are multiple ways you can do this. Now Google has already come with something called Ask Gemini. I am sure it is available in Kuwait as well. You can click here and it will open something here. Okay. And this is exactly what Blaze will also do. If you click here and do this, Blaze will open and then you can ask anything on to Blaze to do this. Let's say you are into some site and you want to understand more about it, then say that give me let's check how this is. Okay, give me a summary of this page. So what it is going to do is once it's installed, it is definitely just going and just giving a short summary, and you don't even have to read the entire things. And what it helps you with is that you can copy this information and paste it into any information. And like if you have like a long reading materials that you are doing, this Blaze can give you a very good highlight about what it can, what this information is all about. So it's basically highlighting anything. And now it becomes like a chat window for me. Now I can ask like how much does exam cost me? So you can say how much does an PMP exam cost me? And then it's going to tell me, okay, if you're a member, this is how much you need to be a member. So this page is not talking about anything related to PMP exam. The same thing in Gemini, you have this. Let's say click on this, and if you click here, Gemini will be activated and you can list PMI benefits. This page is talking about PMI membership and benefits, and it will list about what information is available here and give you a gist about it. Now, the advantage with Blaze is you can use this in any browser. So that means let me open an email and you wanted to understand or respond to that email. Okay. Now with Blaze, what can it do is, let me go to
How
the
about the data security part of it? Any official emails can be opened and
I wouldn't recommend that. So always follow your company policies. So do not for use it if the company do not recommending installing browsers. If that is the case, then don't do that to the company because you may not be in the right place. But it is based onto the browser. There are terms and conditions that it provides. So make sure that you check with that and your company policies and then do it. But what I generally do is, let's say you have information on something that you need to respond to, and you do not have necessary time to reply to this. So I received a welcome email from some AI tool, and it is called the fashion email. And now what I have to do is, if I have to respond to them, they're given me a welcome. And now I want to request them, okay, thank you for giving me this welcome and giving me free credit. I'm more interested to know more about you. Now, if I want to reply back, there are multiple ways you can do this, right? You can reply to this and then type whatever you want to do it. Now, instead of doing that, I just click on Blaze and say, there are some options disabled. Reply to this. I just have to select it and then it just creates a response for me. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm excited to get started, whatever. Now I am also asking, okay, ask for an extra 10% discount. And it just generated the mail. All I have to do now is insert. So when I do this, I saved a ton amount of time to understand what this mail is all about. It created the draft, and it has also created an email to give an extra 10% discount. So all I have to do is just click the send button. Now you can do a lot more with it. It can be used to answer any questions, translate the pages. Let's say you wanted to, I just showed you about doing prompting, right? So let's say if I want to do prompting, and if I have to create something, I have to use the prompt. Now what you can do with that is, for example, here, let's say you are looking to create a report, a project report. This is the report yeah, let's create like this. So it's basically, okay. So now when you give a single shot prompt, it's going to give you this kind of information, right? Now we learned that we can use the format TCREI. So what I'm going to do is create the project, like instead of creating like that, what I will do is I will click here and I will prompt here, create a project report on renewable energy sources and follow TCR. Now what it is doing is, it is basically creating a better prompt that I can use, and by now it has already created the content as well. Okay, so basically you can use that and then say create this as a prompt, and you can just it even generated the content. The content is also created. It has created I think quite a detailed requirement. Now, what I typically use Blaze is basically when I am doing research. Let's say I'm going to research on something. There are multiple ways you can do deep research in using tools. But when I am doing research, I need to create a structure that can be used for creating reports. So for that, let's say we want to deep research on AI for 2027. Okay, so instead of just deep research on AI for 2027, I select this and I use AI to prompt AI. That's what I'm actually going to do now. Okay, so artificial intelligence trends and projections for 2027. Now, one more prompt that I want you to take away from today's session is basically called meta prompting. So meta prompting is nothing but a way that you can make more effective research and reports. It can be used for anything, but use it very carefully, because once you use these kind of prompts, it's going to consume a lot of tokens, and it's going to consume, you're going to exhaust your limit very easily. So what you can do is click on artificial intelligence trends and projections for 2027 and make it a meta prompt. So now it has created this. Instead of me typing what I need to research, it basically say, conduct a comprehensive deep research and analysis on the trajectory of artificial intelligence leading up to 2027, explore the trends, technological breakthroughs, industry players, whoever are the regulatory development, and projected societal impact. It's given me very comprehensive way that I can do the research now. Now I paste this and then generate. So what I have done here is I'm just creating a deep research on the trajectory of artificial intelligence up to 2027. And now it's creating a very good detailed research about it. This will take some time. And what I would like to do is I will start the research and let it create the report. And once it is ready, we will come back to this. Okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is fine.
Okay. And I do not know what are the other things that you generally use over there, but if you are doing research, there are multiple platforms that can do deep research. So generally, a best way for us to do research on anything is to follow multiple AI platforms, combine the research together, and then consolidate everything. So now you will think that, okay, you have to do research. And generally, when you do research, it's a lot of information, right? And it is difficult for everybody to now combine this into one thing. Now, that is when I'm introducing to you something called as Notebook LM. Okay. Notebook LM is nothing but a platform provided by Google, and it's excellent and exceptionally good for a lot of us in terms of how you can use it to research. And you are professionals, you have different topics and contents that you need to research on. And I'm just giving a short-term view about what research is happening. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this research happen. It's going to take a bit of time. But what I will do is I will parallelly do a similar research for using another tool or another LLM. Okay. Why am I doing this? Because I get more information that I can use eventually to consolidate my research. Now, what I'm going to do is whatever information I have, I'm going to do it again. So I'm now going to another large language model or Gemini, and I'm selecting this, and I am doing a deep research here. So it says it has something called as deep research for Gemini, and this is only available on the paid tool at the moment. So if you click on deep research, just like what ChatGPT did, I'm going to paste the same thing here, and I'm creating the prompt. Or I just pasted the prompt, which was generated by Blaze. So what I did was I did a research with the help of AI, and it's going to come up with 2 reports at the moment, and we will see how this report can be consolidated. Okay. This is also going to take some time, and maybe it's going to take some more. I mean, it may go very detailed. Google is very good in researching as well. But I do not research on just one platform. It's always a good idea to research on multiple platforms and consolidate that together into one. Now, and this is how Gemini is going to do the research, and it's going to come up with some detailed information about how it's going to be like. Let's see what ChatGPT has done at the moment. Okay.
When you do research on 2 different platforms, do you again do the what do you call merging of that report on the same platform, or you use a third platform?
No. Yes, I will show you that. That's what I'm going to do. So you can do either way. You can do the research in one platform and then merge it together. Let's see whether this has come up with the report. It's still running. And that's what I'm going to show you. I just want to see if this happens quickly. Then it would have been good for me. Please hold on for 1 minute. And let's see if this has finished the research. Okay. So if I click here, this is how it's working on the research. It's mapping whatever, this is how it's thinking. And this is the number of researching website it's going through and doing the research. Now, when I do this, I can limit the research onto peer-reviewed papers or information that is only very credible. So I can give like only go into materials from these kind of places, Web of Science or Scopus or whatever sites that you know, and Google Scholar and all that. You can restrict your research like that. But I generally do it for everything so that it comes together and then I consolidate everything. Right? So let that research happen. And while that research happens, let me quickly show you a quick video about what's too many windows. Sorry, I'm just stopping my share.
Really one of the most rapid adoptions of.
Sorry. Let me know once you're able to see the screen, okay?
Yes. So we can see your wallpaper now, or the main screen rather, the YouTube now.
Yeah. So this is what Sam Altman has to say regarding what's the future of AI.
Really one of the most rapid adoptions of a new technology at a serious enterprise level with significant upsides and downsides has taken place that I've ever seen. But that's about to have to happen again, and then probably again and again and again after that.
How do you think about the sort of current state of play? Take a step back from the noise. Where do we think we're at overall?
Reasonably advanced on the actual technology side and the real capability, and then still quite early on the deployment into enterprise.
But what are the biggest, sort of one or two, most unsolved questions in your mind?
I still know I should be using so much more AI than I am, and I use a lot. So I guess right now the thing that's most on my mind is just it's what it's going to take to integrate this into people's lives and into our companies, so that we get the acceleration that we deserve, and so that people can work on the things that people are uniquely good at and enjoy.
When you're meeting with CEOs, what sort of advice are you giving them, or are they asking about?
It is, how can I run a company on an annual or a quarterly planning cycle when the whole world is changing every month or every 2 months or less? It's very difficult to understand the coevolution of society and technology, or a company and technology, in a vacuum. You kind of have to just start moving and adapt as you go. And this is the thing that I've observed the best companies do. Rather than try to rigidly set every possible policy, they allow a small amount of adoption. A couple of groups can do something, they can use it for some things, and they very quickly get a sense of like, oh, that turned out not to be as hard as I thought because the model mostly does reasonable things, or, oh, that's a real problem, or even that's hard to get people to use. And then they go from there. It's all still very new, and it's just going to take a little bit longer to figure out how a company actually does run more efficiently and to make these great new products. But if a year from now we're still talking about that same question, I'd be more concerned.
So basically he's talking about adoption of AI in the companies, and there are some good research that was telling that people are personally adopting it but finding it very difficult in the organizations. We will come to the discussions on that, but right now I think it's been almost over an hour. If you need any quick water break, we can do that, and then we will come back once the research is complete. Is that
Maybe I can use this opportunity to ask the attendees
questions? Yes.
to raise some questions if you have. We
Yes.
have received some questions, but if others would like to use this opportunity to ask, that would be nice. Please push in your questions either on the chat window or the Q&A.
Okay, so I can see that ChatGPT has done the research and it has generated an executive summary. What I do is I usually download this. So this report is downloaded. But in Google, we have a big difference. Oh, it's still running the research. Okay. It says feel free to, yes, it has created the research. So now I have research from two platforms, right? This is about the trajectory of artificial intelligence for 2027, what it can do, how it can scale, and all of that. Now, I have multiple options in Gemini compared to ChatGPT. Even ChatGPT, you can do this, but you need to do prompting. But in Gemini, things are a little more convenient. So here you have something called create, and you can make this into an infographic, a web page, or a flashcard, and even an audio overview. That's something I love about Gemini and Notebook LM. Now let's do this and see how this becomes. So what it is doing is it's basically coding in the background and creating the report into something really, really, let's see how it comes. Okay, so what it has done is this research, it has created a very good interactive chart. What's going to happen? The economic engine, it's telling like what is the estimated global market value. It's huge. So, and what is the capability horizon for it? And defining 2027 breakthroughs. So it's given me a very clean, oh wow, it has given me what are the models and where it's going to be, what is going to be the performance, yeah, and what kind of things. It's given me a very good detailed research outcome. But what we will do now, as I said, now we have done the research. I'm going to export to docs. So I'm exporting these to research. And what I do after that is I go into a tool called, so okay, I'm going to download this report. So these are the two research that we have done. Now I go into a tool called Notebook LM. So we can go to Google and just search for Notebook LM. Okay. And you get the Notebook LM. And once you go here, you just log in. And once you log in, this is how Notebook LM will look. I will share my research on Kuwait artificial intelligence. That will be the action that I will end with which I will end the session. But what I just want to show you what I generally do. So I click on the notebook, and even here you have an option to do deep research as well, in like we did in Gemini. So you can even do that here as well. And the advantage that you get with this tool is that it has multiple options and input facilities. That means I can add source from anything. I can add source from files. Let's say right now we have downloaded one file. So I'm going to upload that. And then again, I can add source. And right now the Gemini report is also downloaded, I think. Okay. I go back to Notebook LM, click on upload. Oh, this was the same thing. Sorry. let's go back here. Oh, that was the executive summary. So I am gonna upload this. This is from ChatGPT. So I've combined these two into one document without even consolidating together. And what I am now going to do is, now that this has created, the beauty of Notebook LM is you can use it to do videos, slide decks, audio overview, and even quizzes that can be very exciting. So what you can do is, right now I'm just going to create a simple slide deck. All I have to do is, it has multiple options here. If you click here, it can give you options like, do you want a detailed deck or you want to do something for presentation? Then you can use like that. And then do you need a short or long one? You can choose, and you can even choose what source you want to include or exclude. Let's say if you want to do only a summary of one particular report that you created, then you can exclude that. So right now I'm going to quickly do this, and it's going to generate a slide deck on the road to 2027, scaling intelligence and global infrastructure. Right now, this is while this is creating, I did the similar research for Kuwait and how artificial intelligence are going to be, or what is the status of artificial intelligence. And this is what has given me as the outcome of that. And I wanted to share with you on that. Okay. So I will show you, like, because I didn't want to take so long to create these reports because this can take a long time. So I have created some of them already, and I'm gonna just share it in the screen. So what it has created is, like, now it has created like a professional PowerPoint presentation. And it is talking about how AI is augmented in the the AI augmented professionals in Kuwait, and how it is navigation is happening. This is what the research says. It is telling about the reality and all of these adoptions. And it has created even reports and the research data and all of that. So this is how you can consolidate data, and you can use that and showcase it. And another thing that you can do is, if you see here, this is called audio overview. Once you create this, it will create audio overviews as well. So let me show this, because this is much better and more detailed research of the same thing. What you see here, it has created a clear audio overview of the entire global AI race. And if you click here,
outlets to charge them. This is the brief on Kuwait's artificial intelligence ecosystem. We're looking at how Kuwait is throwing its massive $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund in an AI revolution, only to realize you don't actually have any outlets to charge them. First, recent drone attacks on critical sites.
So I do not want to go into the details of it, but this is how you can do the research, and eventually it will give you a summary about how how this is. And even if I mentioned about the video overview, if you click here, if you click here, it will generate
Kuwait's Kuwait's technological transition has evolved from foundational connectivity infrastructure into the deployment of sophisticated algorithmic workflows across both the public and private sectors. This shift is the practical execution of the Vision 2035 agenda, a roadmap designed to diversify the state's economy away from hydrocarbon reliance and toward a regional hub for commerce and innovation. To power this, the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation has allocated $110 billion specifically for energy transition and digital technology. That capital is also entering the public sector, with a $38 million budget dedicated to integrating AI into clinical workflows and robotic surgeries in hospitals like Jaber Hospital. But while the state-level investment is substantial, individual enterprises are encountering significant friction as they attempt to operationalize these tools. In 2026, the International Labor Organization analyzed the Kuwaiti private sector to determine if this investment was translating into actual efficiency. This chart shows that 93% of Kuwaiti enterprises are currently adopting AI, citing cost reduction and execution speed as their primary drivers. However, the same study found that only 26% of those firms could verify any measurable productivity gains. This 67-point gap reveals an ROI paradox. Handing a professional access to an AI model does not automatically create an efficient workflow. Identifying why this gap persists requires an analysis of the localized constraints, regulatory, linguistic, and structural, that determine whether an AI architecture is actually viable for a Kuwaiti enterprise. Deploying AI in Kuwait requires navigating a decentralized regulatory architecture that governs every layer of the technological stack. Digital governance is orchestrated by a triad of institutions, each responsible for a specific pillar of compliance. The Central Agency for Information Technology, or CAIT, manages the digitalization of government services, setting the standards for public sector AI adoption. Working alongside them is CITRA, the authority responsible for the telecommunications and information technology sectors. CITRA enforces the 2024 Data Privacy Protection Regulation, which mandates strict cloud compliance and transparency for any AI provider processing user data. The final and most restrictive pillar is the National Cybersecurity Center, or NCSC. The NCSC mandates that sensitive government or enterprise workloads cannot cross state borders without explicit approval, effectively requiring that data stay within Kuwait's jurisdiction. These localized rules create a direct conflict with the operational mechanics of global AI platforms like OpenAI or Anthropic. Standard global models process data via foreign APIs. Sending sensitive corporate or citizen data to external servers outside the GCC is a violation of these sovereignty rules. For highly regulated Kuwaiti industries, relying on foreign cloud inference for AI is not a viable legal strategy. Beyond the legal barriers, global models often fail the basic technological requirements of the Arabic language. LLMs do not read words, they process tokens. The cost and latency of an AI system are determined by how many tokens are required to represent a piece of information. Because most global models were built with Arabic as an afterthought, they rely on suboptimal tokenization schemes. Their morphological analyzers fragment Arabic words into disjointed, jagged pieces that the model struggles to reconstruct. This fragmentation destroys semantic meaning, which is why global models frequently hallucinate or fail to grasp the nuance of formal modern standard Arabic. It also creates a massive computational tax. The inefficient tokenization causes latency to spike and drives the cost of Arabic outputs up by 3 to 5 times compared to English. This is why enterprises are pivoting towards sovereign Arabic-first architectures, like the Pronoia model from Arabic.ai. These native models are engineered specifically for Arabic morphology. They process the language as a unified stream, eliminating fragmentation and lowering costs. Because these models are designed for sovereign deployment, they can run on air-gapped infrastructure, satisfying the NCSC mandates that global APIs cannot meet. Algorithmic sovereignty solves 2 problems at once. It satisfies the legal demand for data localization and the linguistic demand for computational efficiency. But even with a secure native Arabic model, many enterprises still fail to see an ROI. This failure is explained by a phenomenon the ILO calls the constraint flip.
A very long video.
During the initial pilot phase, it is relatively easy for an organization to acquire off-the-shelf AI tools for basic experimentation.
Okay, so this is how it consolidates the research and then it generates a video, and it is very easy for us now to, share the findings about the research. I can share the summary of this in the later part of it, but I think I would like to hand over more time for asking questions. Please feel free if you have questions. I think I can stop from there. But this is how you can do the research on any topic, and then you can come up with the results of it, and then you can consolidate these into PowerPoint presentations, audio overviews, video overviews that you can use for any ways or anyhow you can use for consumption. You can use this for making materials for training your child, or even using this for academic research as well. And I think with this, I wanted to stop my presentation here and hand over to the panelist or for asking me if there are any related questions.
Right. Akhil, I have taken cue from your presentation and I have put all the questions into ChatGPT. I've asked them to group it and give me a couple of questions so that there is no overlap. It's just generating. Given it the context, give me a couple of minutes. So, okay, the questions covered are right. So, the first question for a busy professional in Kuwait who is not a technical expert, what is the most practical first step to start using AI meaningfully at work from tomorrow?
That is an excellent question. And I would say uh, if you are a busy professional, you should be using AI in such a way that it can help you in many ways to gain the time that you are losing at the moment. The best thing I did when I got the opportunity and I didn't have time was, you know, invest into one AI tool. This is what I did, okay? Because I was also trying to understand more about what AI is happening and all. But there were a lot of free materials that are available right now. If you go into in the website, I mean, if you go into Google, you can find free courses, a lot of free courses. But it's hard for us to sit there and understand and complete these courses. So what I did was, this is what I do every time before I know to understand more about what's happening. I invest 1 month into one AI, right? So I do a research and I find like this is the AI I want to learn, or this is what I wanted to understand more about, and I invest into one. Let's say what I do is I don't go into multiple AIs, so I go into one AI and then I invest to that. So if I like, if ChatGPT is the one that is very popular, that's what I understand in Kuwait. What you have now is a free AI, right? When you use free AI, you only get limited prompts and limited information, and you don't get more about it. So I invest, like I take a subscription for that, and till I'm comfortable with that, I use it. So the best experience come when you use it rather than you learn and see videos or chapters or discussions and all of that. If you don't use it, then you are not learning anything about it. I know you are busy, but I would invest my time on one of those. I wouldn't mind if it's Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini. So what I do is I alternate. Like 1 month I invest into ChatGPT. I learn what it is capable of doing. And then next month I cancel the subscription and I go to Gemini, and then I learn, because I wanted to know what are the difference between these two and what are the capabilities. Now, when I do that, I use that AI for that particular month because I've already paid for it. Now I cannot just leave it and not use it. And that's when I learned the most. And what I did was like I did an automation. So ChatGPT had some. I wanted to share that, but I don't want to take the length of it. With ChatGPT, you can even buy groceries. Okay, so that's the power of ChatGPT. You can do that. ChatGPT had something called as agentic AI, only in the paid version. So if I had been only using the version that was free, I would have not even seen what it is capable of doing. And with that, now some of the groceries and the mundane tasks that I do is already automated, and it's giving me some space there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very important point that you pointed out that use
Use
it for an alternative.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been using ChatGPT and Claude as paid versions, but I've not been canceling the other one, which I'm not using much. So I think this is a very important tip to take away and then invest something in new one. The next question is, many professionals are worried about confidentiality. What should
Yes.
we never upload into public AI tools, and how can companies use AI safely with internal documents, client data, and reports?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very sensitive topic. So the best answer for that, I would say, is follow the company policies. If you are part of a professional or an organization, then the best thing is to follow the guidelines that the company has set for you. And what you should not put into AI, I wouldn't put any of my personal information into AI because we do not know how this is going to be used in the future. So all the information that you are putting, for example, if you are putting your passport details or in personal information, right now, maybe this is okay within the environment, but there have been a lot of breaches, issues, concerns, because this information can be monetized in the future. So treat it like when web was created, you used to do searches, but then you've been targeted as for the marketing on what you do searches. Now the weird thing is that even before you even think, the product is in front of you, right?
Yeah.
You've been forced to buy these things. So if you keep sharing personal information, AI is, whether you call it artificial or not, it is intelligence, right? So
Right.
you need to be very cautious, because anything with intelligence can use that information for any use. So I did share a screen about what are the do's and don'ts. The best thing is, don't share anything that you think can cause you inconvenience, especially personal data, passport details, your visa information. All of those documents you need to be keeping very carefully, and also your financials. Do not provide much about that, because this can be targeted and may be exploited as well.
Right. Thanks, Akhil. The third one. So you answered it partially, but I would still, it's come up again. Will AI reduce job opportunities in Kuwait, especially in administration, finance, banking, oil and gas, and government, or will it mainly change the skills required?
So the answer to that is, it is going to create more opportunities for sure, right? So there will be a disruption. There will be a disruption because AI can take over a lot of tasks that are repetitive in nature. But people are always people, and you are interacting with people. And when you're interacting with people, you deal with things that AI cannot deal with. So, you know, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So
So opportunity wise, if you look at into the Kuwait segment, I didn't complete it. So when you come to the Kuwait segment, if you have looked into the research that I was sharing, the challenge that Kuwait is facing now is that there need to be a clear data structure, right? So if AI has to act on many things, AI cannot keep and provide outputs just because it has only very limited information. Now, the companies, the big companies have already invested. Their data is very much standardized, and since it's standardized, if you use AI, the outcomes will be much better, more refined. But I understand based on the research that Kuwait is still facing that issue because small and medium companies, they still do not have a standardized data sets. And since you do not have that, if you input garbage in, the output will be a garbage out. And this is a challenge that I understand from the research that I have identified. And this is why the government in Kuwait is giving more importance to the data layers. And there is a lot of work that will be done, which means there will be a lot of opportunities that will be created for those kind of jobs. And finance and other organizations will have a hit, but there will be more and better jobs. But the new jobs that is going to come will focus more on your skills to interpret and use AI rather than do the traditional way of how you are doing now.
right. So as I understand, the human element will continue to be required, but the way you interpret it and process it would be different from what you're doing it now. Am I right?
Right.
Right. The next question is, many participants already use ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, or Claude. So there are two parts to that question. How should professionals decide which AI tool is suitable for which type of work instead of using all the tools in the same way? And then just now a follow-up question has come up on that. Could you please recommend the best AI tools for working with Microsoft Excel workbooks?
That's a good question. So what tool you should use, it is a discussion because it depends on the profession. Let's say, it depends because right now there are tons and thousands, maybe even I would say 100,000 or more tools that are available in the market for each and everything. There is a tool of, it is like, my analogy is, if you go to a restaurant, they will give you a glass of water, right? Now, if you open anything, you will see one AI there. So if you go to if you go and open Google, you see an additional AI button there. If you go into an Adobe Photoshop, you will see an AI there. You name it, you will find AI anywhere and everywhere. So now, if you are into a profession, let's say you are into project management, or let's say you are a doctor, let's say you are an engineer, uh, your company will be using a lot. Like Copilot is one example because that is where you will be having access to as part of the company. Or you are a graphic designer, you will be using Adobe. In my view, you focus on your skill and what best tool you already have, see if they have already incorporated with AI. If it is already incorporated with AI, now things that you used to do can be done much faster using the same tool with the help of AI. And that's an advantage that you will get. So I wouldn't recommend go with Claude, go with Gemini, go with this. You need one that is basically to guide. But if you are an expert in something, check whether that particular program is already integrated with AI, and then use the same thing to enhance your work. And now for Excel, I recently attended a session and I saw that there is a tool called numerous.ai. That's something I can share after the event. Maybe you can circulate it. It's called numerous.ai. And that tool can actually help you a lot in Excel. And the good thing that has happened now is that Microsoft is also using Claude inside Excel. So if you go to an Excel sheet, you can install Claude inside Excel. And similarly, the Copilot has been enhanced to do things much more capable. But I heard good reviews about numerous.ai. I'm not commenting about it because I've not used it extensively, but it will help you if you're a beginner and you want to do formulas and stuff that you are not aware. Probably that's when you can use it. But if you're an expert, I will validate it before making those kind of decisions. But it's a good recommendation from many people. That's why I'm sharing about it. Yeah.
Great. Now, for sector-specific work, how can AI help in areas like engineering design, safety, hazard identification, risk assessment, and operational decision making?
Whoa.
That's too wide a spectrum to
that is
answer, but if you would like to choose one or two, we would be happy to go forward.
I mean, these are very critical areas. It's too early in my view to know. Like I would be very cautious because I will use that information, but the problem I mentioned is whether this has the right data right now to use them and get the right output for your particular organization. So it's important that you choose according to whatever is the guidelines. I wouldn't comment much because these are very critical safety standards and things that needs to have a human oversight. So I may use probably one large language model and get a summary of it, validate it, and then maybe use according to the discretion of the company. But again, it should be defined by the governing body of the particular organization.
I agree. I think some of you would have already read the news about Ford calling back 350 engineers who were working in engineering and quality a couple of days back. Initially, they were fired for, I mean, Ford was planning to use AI to replace their jobs, and then realize that they are not able to solve some of those quality and some performance issues. So they've called back all the engineers whom they were fired back onto the job. They have been rehired. I'm not sure whether it's completely engineers, but it includes a wide spectrum of professionals who have been called back. The experienced professionals who were initially laid off and then called back.
Yeah,
So
and that's the thing even I have to mention here. Like when you're adopting AI, I think this should be the messaging that the management and the leadership also need to be very clear about, because you think that it's gonna amplify the work and help in terms of eliminating the resources there. To an extent, yes, it helps relieve a lot of work, but also it gives a lot of opportunity as well, right? It creates space. So AI should be used as a tool to understand what are the things. So you should follow like a standard process, or you should follow a very scientific process about what should go to AI and what should not go to AI. And then you make the decision about where you should apply this. And when I was working for an oil company, we also deployed a similar project, or I was leading the program, and we made a significant amount of savings. But the savings were not by eliminating people. The savings were eliminating those repetitive, mundane tasks and giving the resources more capable work that can be done. So I worked on a 4-year project where we were deploying 300 plus robots across the financial side. It's a software-based robots. And the advantage we saw was, instead of eliminating the resources, it was able to give us opportunity for those resources to focus on their daily task. For example, we used to have people coming up late in the night and working till 4 in the morning just to meet the bank cutoff, right? Now, when we looked into it, they were working by downloading reports. Just to do that, there were people coming in and doing these things, and they had to manually do these things. So
Right.
what we did was we created these robots that by the time this person arrives, these reports are already gone there, downloaded and ready. So this person didn't have to come late in the night. The robot did all those tasks, kept these reports ready, and it was available for that person in the morning. And that person can take up the task, do the more creative thing about how should I now use this information and what should I do next. So those were opportunities that created. So we did not eliminate those kind. I mean, it did gain efficiency, but the leadership decision was that we will use that resources for more meaningful thing. And a good example I can share is Amazon. They went into automation. Their entire warehouse is now completely automated. There are robots working there, but their business didn't go down. The business increased. So what happened is more humans were needed to do more business, right? So they were not laying off, but rather they were expanding, right? And I think there were one question somebody asked about preparation for exams and all of that. The notebook LM I just shared, it is a wonderful tool. Okay. I have shown you some research compilation and all of that. But if you go into the notebook LM, let's say you have a textbook, you can even upload the entire textbook. And let's say let's say you have a textbook on geography, right? You can even upload the entire textbook into that notebook LM. And along with that, you can go to a YouTube video about whatever the topic is about geography or whatever, and you can add that. And then you just ask the kid to generate a video overview. And in the video overview, you can say that make it compatible for a 5-year-old or 3-year-old or 6-year-old or 10-year-old, whatever it is. Or if it is for graduation, then do it for graduation. And it will create a very good detailed information. And I shared that in Notebook LM, it had flashcards, quiz, mind maps. It does a lot of feature. This like what I wanted to set expectation here is here I'm only touching very basics of what is AI. But if you want, we can do exclusive sessions on each and every of these tools where we will go in depth into and then explore in detail.
Perfect, Akhil. I think that's worth a review. The next, are you up for a couple of more questions or is the time
Yes,
out?
yes, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one question. I mean, there are two questions, but I'll link it together. One is it safe to use AI for payment integrations for websites like e-commerce? And the second question that has come up is what are the phases of using AI for trading shares and cryptocurrencies? So if it has been covered in the data privacy part of it, I may ask you to skip it quickly, or if you have an additional answer to it, please feel free to.
No, there are already existing AI integrations that is also working. But I'm not an expert because we did use it. So I mentioned, right, where I was working, I was in fintech for a while. So while we were connecting with banks and stuff like that. But everything was having a human oversight. So what is the best tool? It depends again, what are the best IT recommendations that we were given. But again, sensitive information, I will be very cautious. But again, with guardrails, you can do. But again, now most of the banks are already using it. If you have seen credit ratings and informations are already, but they use a very secured environment, and within that environment, they are using this kind of thing. And for trading, I wouldn't give any advice at the moment. But I have seen a lot of capable tools and softwares. The only thing you need to be cautious about is don't go with the marketing that they give. And if they say that with this you will make money, I'm sure sometimes you may. But again, it is very volatile thing. So be very careful about using these things. But I do use it for personal reasons. Let's say if you want to do analysis of balance sheet of certain companies, rather than me taking 50 pages, print it out, or reading these information, I can put this into a Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, and then ask it to give me some detailed information, then do the analysis, and then do the trading. So it should be a much better thing than just blindly asking ChatGPT, should I buy this or not? It is much better. But there are a lot of platforms where it can automatically do. You give a target and it can even go ahead and do it. Yeah.
Thanks, Akhil. I think this is a question that's closer home to you. For IT professionals with banking systems background, what training or certification path would you recommend to move into roles like enterprise AI architect or automation specialist? For example, AI, ML, agentic AI, RAG, MCP, cloud AI architecture, process automation, LLM ops.
Very, very technical question. I would say in banking, like I would say every bank has different. So I'm talking about North America now because here the North American environment has like the banks have built their own LLMs, right? So if you go with a particular one, I would be very, I mean, it depends on what the bank and the financial sectors are demanding. But I would definitely go for Claude 101 training. And I can probably share a link on that because Claude is very extensively used. And I have a few friends in banking. They also told me about using Windsurf. So right now, if you look into the world of coding, IT professionals are no longer doing coding work because IT professional can no longer compete with the speed that AI can do. So the best thing I have seen so far is these people who are now helping these banks or financial sectors are not doing the coding job, rather they're doing the testing job. So I heard about Windsurf. That's a very cool tool that can be used for validating what these AIs has built is correct or not. And then that's when the human make the decision. Like they check whether these tools are good, and then they do. And I also got a few opportunity to visit certain banks or have discussions with some of them. And Microsoft is still relevant. So Microsoft has Microsoft Power Automate, and many of those banks, not for the client or the customer integration, but for internal use, they still use it. So Microsoft certifications is also something that I would highly recommend, along with Claude. So just new about what I have heard from few of my friends.
Right, Akhil, last question. Your parting thoughts on what specific AI roles and skills should IT and non-IT professionals start preparing from now?
Skills. Oh, okay. I mean, profession? I didn't get you. Can you repeat the question?
What specific AI roles and skills should IT and non-IT professionals start preparing from now?
Yeah, so that question, I've been like since last year, the answer I give is prompt engineering, vibe coding, all of that is what I used to say. But the AI is evolving so rapidly, it's very hard to keep up with what's happening. So my answer to that is there will be a lot of yes, AI project managers, AI what do you say, AI product leads or product managers. These kind of roles will always be there. Uh, but right now, by a title, I do not know what those be. But to be prepared, I will call myself becoming more generalist rather than narrowing down into one segment. Because if you become very specialized into one, and it is expensive, uh, there is a chance that the AI can do better than you. So at this point, I will if I am a coder, I will also learn how I should do marketing, and I can use that a simple AI platform and learn that more quickly. I mean, I will also learn a bit of finance. I will
Right.
also learn a bit of everything. So I think I wouldn't go my skills build narrow at only to, let's say, only IT, right? You need to
Yes.
look from a very wide angle and become more generally aware. Because once you have that, that would be the kind of business knowledge that the companies and organizations will be looking for, rather than I need a few developer for doing this. But if you are capable of handling all the sides of the business, because right now, if you look into one skill, you may get compartmentalized. You will be only in that area. So I would rather focus on like a broad range of skills that I should add on. Rather than going and chasing title, I will say look for skills. Like AI
So is it
is
appropriate to say jack of all trades is more relevant in today's
now
AI
it
scenario
seems
than
like now
the
it
past?
looks like, because earlier if you are I mean, I'm not discounting it. Right now, if you are something, you with AI you are 10 times more than that, right? If you are something and you don't learn I can equally compete with you because I just need one AI, right?
Right.
But so the competition level is that if I know multiple things, then it's much easier for the company because you are more skilled. Because otherwise, if just something that you already know, even I can do that with the help of AI. But if you're an expert in something, you can do that with the help of AI. Let's say you want to design something. Earlier, your creative time may be like 10 hours. Right now, it can be done in less than 1 hour.
I agree. I agree. Okay, Akhil, thank you so much. There are a couple of more technical questions, but I'll park them for a direct interaction because it was too technical for me to ask at this stage. Kiran would be anyway sharing your details, or you have already given the details to the delegates, so they can contact you directly, or we can facilitate it. Now, for the official, for paucity of time, I'm going into the closing session. I request. PPF General Secretary Bipin Punatil to deliver the vote of thanks for the formal closing of this session. And it has been wonderful interacting with you, Akhil. Please be online.
Thank you. Thank you for the great and wonderful opportunity. I can share my LinkedIn, and probably with that, we can be in touch and connected. And once again, big thanks to the great opportunity. I hope you guys were able to get it. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. As a part of webinar registration, we collected responses. How frequently AI using in professional work? Interestingly, 40% of the participants mentioned that they are using AI very rarely. We hope that after this section, all of us will be able to integrate AI more effectively to make our professional life easier and more productive. On behalf of Progressive Professional Forum, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Akhil Antony, for delivering such an insightful and inspiring section. Today's discussion is helpful to us to realize AI goes far beyond emails and creating presentations. It has a potential to transform the way we work, learn, and solve problems. My heartfelt thanks to our moderator, Prashant Warrior, for skillfully guiding this section, and our president, Mr. Anil Kumar, for inspiring presidential letters. A special thanks to Srijit, Kiran, and Naveen for the backstage support. And I also extend my appreciation to all ExCom members and every participants whose presence and active participation make this event more grand success. It's just a beginning. PPF is planning more programs about AI in future. We look forward to your continuous support and participation. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. We are closing the window now. Kiran, you can.